It's 6:30 p.m. on a Friday in 1996. The sun is just starting to dip below the horizon, and the world is about to get very small and very exciting. You're standing on your best friend's driveway, and as the taillights of your parents' car fade into the distance, you feel that first spark of total freedom. You aren't just visiting. You've been dropped off with a rolled-up sleeping bag that smells faintly of cedar from the closet, a backpack stuffed with a change of clothes you probably won't use, and a secret stash of snacks your mom definitely didn't approve of. In 2026, we're connected every second. We see what our friends are doing in real time on a 5-inch screen. But in the 90s, the sleepover was the only group chat that mattered. It was a 12-hour immersive experience where the outside world simply ceased to exist. Tonight, we're going back to the era of the Friday night ritual, not to compare it to today's digital silos, but to remember what it felt like to actually be there. Before the sleepover could truly begin, there was the quest, the trip to the video store. This wasn't just a chore, it was a high-stakes negotiation. You and your friends would pace the aisles of Blockbuster or the local mom-and-pop rental shop for what felt like hours. The air in those stores had a specific scent, a mix of industrial carpet cleaner, stale popcorn, and warm plastic. You'd run your fingers along the edges of the VHS cases looking for that one new release sticker that wasn't already empty. There was a physical gravity to your choice. If you picked a dud, you were stuck with it. There was no back button. You were committing to 90 minutes of whatever was on that magnetic tape. And then there was the forbidden zone, that beaded curtain at the back of the independent shops. You'd stand 10 feet away whispering about what was behind it, convinced you were looking into the darkest secrets of the adult world. You'd eventually settle on a horror movie that looked slightly too scary for you, and a comedy you'd already seen 5 times, and you'd head to the counter feeling like you'd just won the lottery. Back at the house, the social contract of the school week was officially dissolved. The kitchen was now a lawless territory. This was the era of the sugar high in its purest form. You remember the sound, the sharp tsh of a cold can of Surge being opened, a drink that tasted like radioactive lime and felt like liquid electricity. There was the ritual of the pizza delivery. In the 90s, the doorbell ringing at 8 p.m. was a Pavlovian trigger for pure joy. You didn't eat for nutrition, you ate for the vibe. Bagel bites that burned the roof of your mouth, fruit roll-ups that you'd wrap around your fingers like bandages, and the share-size bag of Doritos that turned everyone's fingertips a permanent shade of orange. This was communal dining at its finest. There was something about sitting on a basement floor, passing around a lukewarm liter of soda that built a level of trust that a like button could never replicate. As the clock ticked past midnight, the tone shifted. The parents had gone to bed and the night rituals began. This was the era of the urban legend. Before the internet could debunk a rumor in 3 seconds, stories had a terrifying weight to them. You'd huddle around a single flashlight, its beam cutting through the dark, and someone would start. You'd hear about the hook man, or the call coming from inside the house. You'd dare each other to go into the bathroom and say Bloody Mary 3 times. You'd play light as a feather, stiff as a board, genuinely convinced for a split second that your friend was actually levitating. We terrified ourselves on purpose. It was a shared vulnerability, a way to test our courage in the safest place we knew. These weren't just games, they were the oral traditions of our generation, passed down from older siblings like sacred texts. Then, inevitably, you hit the wall. It's 4 a.m., the sugar is crashed, the movies have ended, and the house is silent. This was the most important part of the sleepover. In the pre-smartphone world, when the external stimulation stopped, you were forced to look at each other. This was when the deep talks happened. You'd talk about your real fears, the upcoming math test, the girl you were too shy to talk to, or what you wanted to be when you grew up. There was a strange honesty that only happened in a sleeping bag at 4 a.m. You weren't performing for a camera or a feed. You were just 2 or 3 kids being incredibly real with each other. It was a level of intimacy that defined our childhoods. We didn't have 500 followers, but we had 3 people who knew our deepest secrets, and that was more than enough. Saturday morning always felt like a different world. The sun would hit your face through the blinds, and you'd wake up in a daze, surrounded by empty soda cans and the ghosts of last night's stories. Your parents would pull back into the driveway, and as you rolled up your sleeping bag, you felt a little bit older and a little bit more connected to the people in that room. The 90s sleepover wasn't just about staying awake, it was about the magic of being untethered from the rest of the world for just one night. If this brought back a specific memory for you, I want to hear it. What was the one movie that was mandatory at your house? Let's keep the conversation going in the comments.